Hello and welcome back to the Flat Chat. I'm Heggy here with Callum, and today we're going to be doing our match review on Tottenham versus Newcastle that just finished within the last 10 minutes. So it finished 2-1 to the away side, Newcastle. What did you think of this one?
I mean, am I surprised? A wee bit. I actually was expecting a draw. But I did expect more from Spurs in terms of them needing a bounce back after a really poor result last week. And not just a poor result as in the scoreline, but how poorly they played.
Yeah.
The performance was terrible. And that was quite similar again today. Conte's gone again with the same back five, and then three in midfield, two up front. It's what he knows, and it wasn't working for him, and it definitely wasn't working for him today. And Newcastle were excellent, so
You can definitely tell that Conte is missing Kulusevski big time because they do not look anywhere near the same threat going forward when they play those three centre mids because they can't play Kulusevski.
yeah.
But
Even with Charleston, they're missing, but
Yeah.
he was poorer than when he was playing as well.
we saw this last week, this formation. They created nothing going forward. Again today, didn't create much at all. They had a few pot shots in the first half, and then when they went 2-0 down, they played a little bit better, but not that much better. It seems hard for them to create clear-cut chances.
Yeah, and stop. They concede a lot of chances as well. They give up so many chances to the opposition, and it is because of this formation they've got. It's tough times for Spurs at the moment. They're still obviously in the top four as things stand. I think they're on 23 points.
Yeah.
I think it's Newcastle are just behind them. Yeah. It's tough times for Spurs. It's tough time for Conte. I think we were talking about it during the game, but we were mentioning how we think Conte might actually. Is this the beginning of the end sort of thing for Conte? Does this when he gets up and leaves? Does he?
The discussion has to be started now.
Because it's boring football. You've got to be winning with this style of football. It's very boring to watch.
Yeah, that's why Mourinho got chucked out. Wasn't playing great football.
Exactly.
But no, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm wanting them out.
Really?
I would, yeah.
I mean, I'd want him. I want him out, but that's just because he's Conte. I
Yeah.
still think that he can do something. It's just it's the name really that. But if I'm actually looking at it and thinking, he's actually not taking this team very far.
Yeah.
He got the instant impact from him last season in terms of getting it in and then getting his team over the line to finish top four. Because he's an impact manager.
Definitely.
He gets your players work. He gets the players working hard. Gets the players running more than anyone else.
Fighting for the badge.
Fight for the badge, and then there comes a point where that breaks down. And injuries might be a big issue for him, but he's only got a few, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think. Was there anyone for Spurs today though that got its pass marks for you?
I mean, Harry Kane got his goal.
So,
I think he played pretty well the first half especially.
Yeah.
I think he had 4 passes at one point, and 2 of them were creating one-on-ones for Son.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he had a shot as well. He got a shot away from a tight angle. And it was Pope made a good save. That's the
With his
one.
feet.
Yeah. That's a really good save actually. I think he probably is the only one that gets pass marks for
me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's when it comes to actual poor performances though. There's a list of them.
Yeah.
There's Laurie, first of all. I've got to say he's got to be questioned for the goal for Almiron. What's he doing? He's not go with your feet there, but he's not. He's dived with his. It's very strange goalkeeping. I think I'd be fuming if that was Ramsdale personally. I genuinely would. I would be.
Yeah.
I would be really questioning what is he doing there. What's the thought process there? Because he's really just been done. The ball's gone under him.
Yeah. The one for me though, Sessegnon. I thought he was abysmal today.
Oh, he get taken off quite early on, didn't he, for
Yeah.
Perisic? Yeah.
Almiron had him on toast.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to Almiron,
Yeah.
of course, because we will talk about Newcastle a
Yeah.
little bit. We'll just kind of go through the poor things that Spurs did. Dyer wasn't great.
No.
Longley wasn't great either. But I think Dyer you really see him struggling when he's next to centre backs that aren't Romero, sort of thing. Even Ben Davies as well. I'm going to be honest, he's better than the guys who's playing against today. But they've really missed Romero. Sanchez is a terrible centre half. He's got so many mistakes in him.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a donkey.
He's only got a bit of pace.
Yeah, and he's next to Emerson Royale, who, by looking at this, had the third highest match rating out of the Spurs players. He got 7.1 match rating.
I think that says more about the other players than it does about him.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think another shocking performance, Bissouma. I expected so much more from him. I thought that was going to be one of the signings of the summer.
It was our signing of the summer when we did the video, other than Haaland. But
how wrong were we?
Yeah, definitely. It just looked a completely different player at Brighton.
Yeah. It was a system that worked for him. That system doesn't.
He was the anchor in that system. And this one, he's made to run about a lot. Mm-hmm. It's just not his game. He would suit Newcastle's team better, probably,
for sure,
in that Guimaraes role, but I'm definitely taking him over Bissouma right now.
Yeah, definitely. But Bentancur did have an alright game.
Yeah.
He got 8 match rating, which is, fair enough, because he was pretty good. A few driving runs forward. His final ball a little lacking, where he gets marked down there. But all in all, not the worst performance for him. But a bad performance, bad day at the office, bad week for Spurs.
Yeah.
Great week for me. Great week. Even Arsenal drawing, and they'd somehow make my weekend a little brighter.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. Well, we get on to Newcastle now, though.
One more thing before we got on. We were talking about Conte there, and if you should go, is there any standout names that you think Tottenham should go for?
Oh, wow.
I can only think of one.
Poch?
Tuchel. But I don't think he'll accept it.
I'm sorry, but this Spurs taking Chelsea sloppy seconds, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. That's crazy. I don't think Tuchel. I think Poch will become the next Spurs manager. I think he'll go back.
Yeah.
I just think that'll happen.
I think he suits their players as well. They all like him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really well for Spurs when he was there.
And he'll get rid of this silly back three idea that Spurs are trying to implement. I just don't think they've got the players for it.
It's not a back three, it's a back five. It is
That's
so
true.
negative.
No, it is a back five. You're right. We didn't even mention Son there before we go into Newcastle. Again, poor.
Very
not
poor.
his season. Not his season at all.
Missed a one-on-one in the first half. It was a decent save with Pope, but he has to do better.
Yeah. So, fair enough. We've grilled Tottenham a little bit there.
I'm sure we won't be grilling another team though.
No, they were excellent.
Be full of praise.
They were excellent, and they're really, really looking good. It's fourth in the table. Pope, very good saves, a couple of good saves. Wasting a lot of time, frustrating the Spurs fans in the second half a lot.
Yeah, he did the same against Liverpool.
Yeah, that cost them though in the end.
And he didn't get punished today.
Yeah,
they got the win.
Yeah.
Defence solid.
Very good.
I thought all of them were good.
Yeah, Shaw in particular for me was excellent in terms
definitely.
of as out the centre backs. I mean, Botman was great as well, but Shaw, it isn't just his defending is what I'm talking about. It's more his ball playing ability.
He's so technical.
We've seen him ping a ball from 40 yards in the past, and he's also good at passing as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's actually his ball over the top that led to the Callum Wilson goal. I think he then played a ball a few minutes later out to the left wing. Again, excellent ball. A bit like Anderson.
Definitely,
I've started to notice that. Trippier got man of the match, according to this.
Yeah.
Maybe not for me as man of the match. I would have someone else.
I think he's got it because of how well he dealt with Son.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. There was two men in particular that I thought were a bit better, but we'll get to them.
Yeah, but Trippier was excellent.
Yeah. One of them, Bruno.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of my players of the match.
He had to be taken off at the end because a yellow card he was on. So.
He had a bit of trouble, didn't he, during the game with his calves or his hamstrings?
He'd run about a lot. Maybe it's the weather. I think honestly, it might sound silly, but the weather, the pitch was waterlogged near enough. That can, I think, especially playing a 90-minute game like that. That can really affect your legs. But he ran his socks off tonight.
He conducts that midfield so well. Mm-hmm. He's just the perfect anchor.
Yeah.
So good on the ball. Puts himself about. You can tell there's real chemistry with our midfield.
Yeah, Joe Linton obviously as well.
Yeah, he played in the wing today.
Yeah,
but
he played with Willock next to him. I think again they were both great. I think Longstaff is someone that played really well.
Yeah.
And of course there was the two men up front. Well, one man up front, one man in the wing, and they were exhilarating. They were excellent to watch. I think Wilson was magnificent to watch. His touches, his link-up play, his hold-up play, ball coming in over the top, just taking it down, Zidane-esque. Let's put it that way.
And
excellent.
His left foot finish.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Brilliant. We'll quickly talk about his goal then. What do we think about that?
I think they got the decision correct.
Yes.
It's not a foul for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a Spurs fan, you feel incredibly hard done to.
Yeah, because I think actually Jamie Redknapp mentioned it on the half-time bit for Sky Sports, and he said, well, if it's the other way around and the ball's going through on goal and Wilson's going and running onto it and Lurie blocks him off,
then it's obviously a foul.
It's a foul.
Yeah.
And it's probably a red card as well. So the other way round,
I like to see the advantage given to the strikers in
I
these
think
situations.
that's where I think you're right. I think we want to see goals.
Yeah, but goalkeepers get too much protection nowadays. He did bump into him, but Wilson has stopped his run. He's not deliberately taking him out.
Yeah,
it's just a coming together.
It is a coming together, but you are right. You feel very like it's a harsh one for a Spurs fan.
And it was a top finish.
It was a great finish. I think almost they were like, you know what, we've got to give it because the finish was that good. I think Dyer could have done a little better though.
Definitely.
Just waving his hands about, climbing for the foul. Just get yourself back in the line, buddy.
No, he definitely was part of the blame as well.
Yeah.
Second goal, Almiron, great finish.
We will now talk about Almiron,
Yeah.
who was my man of the match personally. I don't know if you agree or not.
Definitely one of the three for me. Trippier, Bruno, Almiron. I think you could just give it to any of them.
Honestly, I think Wilson's the other one for me.
Yeah,
I think it's Wilson
he
or
did have a
Almiron
good
for
game.
me. But no, it was a great goal. Good bit of play from Newcastle, and the ball gets through to Almiron. He takes his man on very easily, I might add.
Yeah.
It's fast enough to then get himself into a position where he can then
use his
left foot, which is quite interesting. And then, of course, we talked about Lurie. But it was a good finish.
Yeah, definitely.
Good finish. Good goal, and he's really, really hitting form after the Grealish comments, isn't he?
Yeah, Grealish actually might have to make a public statement and retract that comment, because I think he might want to start playing like Almiron.
Was it not Mahrez?
Yeah.
So, Mahrez could do with playing like Almiron.
Yeah.
He's not even getting a lot of game time half the time. Let's be real here. A great goal.
Do you think
Almiron
gets a move to a typical Big Six side?
Well, looks like he's there.
That's what I'm saying, like a typical one. But,
no, because they'll be a Big Six side and Spurs won't be. I'm telling you.
Here's hoping.
They're going down the road. They're going down the toilet. I'm telling they are. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Crumble, crumble, crumble.
Do we think that Newcastle can make a push for the top four this season, or do you think it's too much too soon?
I think you'd be silly to say they're not the question, not in the argument to be in it, because they're fourth.
They've lost one game.
And
it was against Liverpool.
And it was the last kick of the game.
Yeah.
They lost the goal from. I think they're obviously in the argument. I do not. If I was a betting man, I would not put my money on Newcastle finishing the top four. But again, it wouldn't be the greatest shock in the world.
Yeah.
If they did, with the way they're playing, I think they're just a few players away from getting that. I think that's for me. I think the squad depth will be an issue as the season goes on, but for that they don't have European football to worry about like other clubs do.
Yeah, and there's also another factor. They might spend big in January.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
which is only 6 games away now. They've only got 6 more games to play with this squad, 6 or 7.
Yeah,
and then it's party time for the big spenders.
Of course.
I think personally they'll finish either 6th or 7th. Around that area.
I think Spurs will still finish ahead of them.
Yeah, so they are. I can see. I don't even know. It's so hard. They are playing good football. They are very exciting to watch. But I think it's just too much too soon this season. But
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, but next season, I think they could make a push for top 4 if they recruit right in the summer and in January. And if they keep Eddie Howe, because he's building something here.
He's definitely building something. And again, I think we've talked about it a lot on this channel about, yes, you're mentioning how they're going to bring players in with all the money they've got, the mega bucks, but it's the improvements we've seen in the players that were there before.
Definitely.
The Callum Wilson looking great, Almiron, Longstaff even, Joelinton in particular. They're all doing it. Even Shar's really turning up this season as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think this game, as I reflect back on it, 2-1 Newcastle, fair result for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think they were the better team.
I think they look the better side. They play more attractive football. They've got, that's what it is. It's the negativity of Spurs up against Newcastle that like to press. They're on you, and then some good football they play as well. Obviously with Bruno Gomes, the key constructor there. But yeah, that's pretty much me for the game.
One more thing I want to talk about is their formation. and how similar it is to Man City and Arsenal. Do you think that's also a reason for their success? Because they're playing very similar football to the two best teams in the league currently.
Is that the best style of football? We can emulating
with the one anchor,
Man City,
the one anchor, the one runner in midfield, and the one ball player, which is Willock for them. Obviously not as good as De Bruyne and
even
Odegaard, but it does a job.
Yeah.
I think they are the perfect example of how the system works for the team.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It's the kind of the elbow back four. Obviously Dan Burns kind of slots in there. Trippier can get further forward. But it is a back four.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Football's definitely progressing into this 4-3-3 dominance.
Yeah, I think it is. That's the way forward. One striker,
the two fast wingers.
Yeah, and kind of interlinking. Yeah. That's what we like. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, definitely.
See someone copying Man City and of course Arsenal, the two teams at the top of the table.
Yeah.
But yeah,
wrap
that up. Good weekend for Arsenal, despite drawing somehow. But yeah. Of course, thank you very much for listening. If you've liked it, leave us a like. Leave us a comment as well. It'd be great to hear from you. And subscribe.